In this video, we're going to be talking about the latest news from Avengers Campus at California Adventure, from the arrival of the QuinJet to when Disney might be thinking about opening this land so we can finally all assemble. So let's talk all about it. Hey there, my name's Eric D, and on this channel, my hope is always to make your next Disney adventure a little bit more magical, with tips and tricks, food reviews, and news. So if you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel. But as many of you have already probably seen, on August 19th, Josh D'Amaro, who is the chairman of Disney Parks, he released some special pictures from Avengers Campus where the QuinJet arrived. And these pictures look absolutely amazing. Here Josh is with Kevin Feige, head of Marvel Studios, and Ken Potrock, the president of Disneyland Resort. And you can see the view the guests will have of the QuinJet as they walk through the land. It's really going to be a great landmark and focal point. I also love the view of Mission Breakout here without all the Bugs Land greenery trying to cover up the sightlines. It brings Mission Breakout in as part of the land. Here's another one of Josh up with the QuinJet, and you can start to really get an idea of the scale of it. And even more so when you see the next image from Imagineering with a bunch of Imagineers standing up with the QuinJet. And I absolutely love how much detail they put into the QuinJet, even though guests will never be right up there close touching the QuinJet because it is on top of a building. But you can even see that they have the Stark logo on it. It looks awesome. Keep in mind that up on top of this building, they're going to be doing a stunt show with several of the Avengers battling the Taskmaster, the villain from the new Black Widow movie. One other view from a picture posted by MiceChat, and I'll link to their article below because it's filled with a lot of great aerial shots, but I just wanted to call out one thing here. On top of the PIM test kitchen, it looks like they have a booth where those helping to run the technical aspects of the stunt show will be able to have a great view of the whole performance area. So likely those running sound or special effects or maybe any projection things, they'll be in there running those things. I really feel like this stunt show is going to help bring the whole land to life when you have the Avengers running around and a villain attacking. And several months ago when Disney was calling for auditions for performers, here are some of the skills that they were suggesting each Avenger should have. For Black Widow, acrobatic skills, tumbling, stunt baton wielding, and rappelling. For Black Panther and Captain America, acrobatic skills, tumbling, bow staff handling, and rappelling. And for the villain, acrobatic skills, tumbling, sword wielding / handling, and rappelling. And I don't know if this is for the same show or for a separate one related to the Stuntronic, but for Spider-Man, they're suggesting acrobatic skills, tumbling, rappelling, and parkour. The other thing I learned from these casting calls, it's not just the physical requirements that are difficult for me to become an Avenger, but it's also the height requirement. It turns out that's not going to happen, except for maybe with Spider-Man, I do fall in that range, but parkour, that's not working for me. With all the progress we are seeing, the big question is, when will Avengers Campus open? While we don't have an official word, I think it would be helpful to talk about how we got here. On March 4th, 2020, Disneyland was having auditions for the stunt show we just mentioned. Then on March 11th, Bob Chapek officially announced that Avengers Campus would be opening on July 18th, 2020. And for just a few moments, life was good. But then the very next day, on March 12th, Disneyland announced that starting on March 14th, they would close their gates for basically 2 weeks due to the rising COVID pandemic. For those first few days of the park closure, we heard that work was still progressing, and there was even thought that work might progress faster without guests in the park. But once again, that didn't last long, as after that first week, we received word that for the safety of the construction crew, all work had been paused. Many of us continued to hold out hope that Disney had put enough buffer time into the schedule to make up for a few lost weeks, because on the website, it continued to say Avengers Campus, opening July 18th. But then, on April 10th, the website changed from opening July 18th to coming soon. On May 4th, we received some good news from the Orange County Register that a limited number of construction crew members were allowed to return to perform essential work like weather protecting Avengers Campus. On June 10th, 2020, Disneyland announced that they would be reopening on July 17th, yet we all know how that turned out. The state of California never provided the guidance for theme park reopening, so Disneyland had to postpone their reopening. Although around the end of May and start of June, it seems like things start to move at a regular pace again at Avengers Campus. Now we can't be sure if things are at 100% the same pace, but it's definitely moving at a faster pace than it was in mid-May. Based on what we know, it seems like Disney lost 10 weeks of construction. So if we were to move the original schedule out 10 weeks, that would mean that they would be done with construction in late September or early October. And that would only be if they could move at the same pace they originally planned to, and that might not be the case with things the way they are currently. At the time of creating this video, Disneyland hasn't officially announced when they're reopening, but even if the Disneyland Resort were to open in late September or early October, and Avengers Campus was ready, I don't think there's any chance we'll see it open for some time. Because Disneyland is hoping to use Avengers Campus as a reason to bring more people into the park and get people excited about California Adventure, it's not a good idea to be opening it when you're at 20% capacity or 30% capacity and social distancing is going on. If you remember back to when Mission Breakout opened, there were huge lines, everyone was very excited. They were having all the news crews down there, reporters were going up and down, they were filming it. And I can see them wanting to do something very similar for when Avengers Campus opens. Of course, you're not going to have reporters going up and down on an attraction, but I can definitely see the reporters there saying, oh my gosh, look, Spider-Man's flying overhead, and just coming out of the Web Slingers attraction talking about how they were shooting webs out and how realistic it was, talking about the Stunt Show, talking about the ginormous food they're eating out of the Pym Kitchen. So I think there's a lot of things Disney will want to do with this. And when they are having to cap capacity, that is not going to be when they're wanting to open this to all the world. The Orange County Register recently had an article where they were saying they were thinking it would open in springtime. I also think it's very likely that you could see it in March or April opening, just in time for those spring break crowds and then people getting excited for the summertime, if things are getting back to normal then. The other option, and this is me being overly optimistic, but here's me being overly optimistic, February 8th, 2021. And why, you ask? That is going to be the 20th anniversary of the opening of California Adventure. And think how awesome it would be to open this whole new land, this whole new campus inside California Adventure on that special day to celebrate 20 years. So I think if things were getting back to normal enough, that would be an exciting time to open it, if they could have crowds large enough for that. And also to add to that, at the end of that week, on that Friday, the new movie from Marvel, The Eternals, is currently planned to come out. Now, once again, those things have been moving around a lot lately, but that could be some great synergy for Marvel to be able to be talking about that movie as they're also talking about that new land opening. So that, in my mind, could be an ideal thing they're looking at. But at this point, who knows? So many things are out of Disney's hands right now, and we just kind of have to see how things play out. But I am getting very excited. In the comments below, I would love to hear your guess of when Avengers Campus will open. I would also love to hear how you're feeling about the land with the QuinJet, the different views we're getting. Is it something you're excited for, or is it not quite your thing? Let me know in the comments below. If you want to get more information about what the campus is looking like, how it's all coming together, one channel that I really love is Yensid 55. I'm going to link it down below and on the side here at the end. So definitely check them out. They do great jobs of updating the construction. They're really detailed and give you kind of a step-by-step of how things are progressing. So definitely check out their channel. But thank you so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like. And as always, we'll see y'all again real soon. Bye.